Fallout. Chapter 6. On the Floor. The sea breeze never went away. As we pulled out of a foggy bridge, the entirety of Portland, Oregon was sprawled out before us. A massive mountain rose to the east, and the lights were out. Hey, what's that mountain? Andy pulled out his AR-15 and looked through the scope. From the map, I'd say that's Mount Hood, the tallest mountain in Oregon. Boys, we've made it. Then we pulled into a large train station. There was a woman waiting at the station. She was heavily armed with guns, grenades, and knives. Her clothes were camo, and her head was shaved. Her brown hair was very short and almost non-existent. Her left eye green and right eye blue. She stood around 5'5" and immediately radiated a sense of grim determination. I opened the door as all four of us stepped onto the platform. The woman walked behind us, looking us up and down. I held my hands up, and Andy and Gordon did the same. She patted us down to make sure we didn't have any weapons. Who are you, and why are you here? Andy stepped forward and stuck out his hand. Her mismatched eyes scanned him up and down. My name is Andy. This is my brother Gordon, and this is Seb. We're from California and received a signal from Washington State. We're trying to restore power and make allies. Who might you be? She shook his hand. I'm Victoria. Welcome to Portland. Sorry for the rude introduction, but you can never be too sure of who you'll meet these days. I nodded, and Victoria looked at the train in shock and awe. And Sparky walked towards her and sniffed her. Oh, you can pet him. His name is Sparky. He's a good boy. Victoria looked down at Sparky, and she pet him behind the ears. He started to do his happy paws. Gordon and Andy smiled. So, how the hell do you have power? I thought that was gone forever. Andy grabbed the device and handed it over to her. Consider this a token of passage through your lands. It's a radio and pre-programmed with our signal. Like I said, we're here trying to restore the power. Are you the leader? She nodded. A leader of sorts. Without the power, it's kind of hard to get a formal government going. I nodded. That's true. Well, anyways, like Andy said, we're here to help restore the power and fight against Atmos. Victoria seemed confused. What's Atmos? Gordon stepped up. It's who turned the power off. It's a long story. She nodded slowly. Well, in that case, this wasn't a mistake or just happenstance. And you said you can restore the power? How? Andy hopped on board the train and pulled his computer out. Then he hopped back down to the platform. If I have access to the city's power grid, then I should be able to restart it. She looked amazed. You can do all that with a computer? He flashed his signature smile and nodded. Yes, I can. She nodded slowly and whistled, and out of the bushes and all around the platform figures walked out, all heavily armed. They're with me, and they'll provide us with safe passage. We nodded and started to walk towards the moonlit city. Streets were filled with cars moved in defensive positions, up against buildings or up on the sidewalks, blocking an easy escape route. And I saw the glint of rifles and scopes from the skyscrapers as we walked the streets. So, Victoria, what is the city like? She turned down a side street and we walked into a building. To answer your question truthfully, Seb, it's a mess. We had people looting for the first few days, and there were hundreds, no, thousands upon thousands of fires that sprung up over the city. That was about a month ago, and now it's a struggle to even get a good amount of food. With your help, I hope to bring back some semblance of order from the chaos. Gordon got his backpack out and handed it over to Victoria. Here, this has food and seeds to grow more. It's not much, but it's the least I could do. She nodded and slung the bag over her shoulders. The building itself was dark and damp. It smelled of moisture in the air, and we were walking into the heart of the building, where there were computers that sat idle on the desk, covered in cobwebs and dust. May I use these, Victoria? Andy asked, and she nodded. He immediately got to work, and within a minute there was already power back to the office. Victoria looked around and her jaw was on the floor. He's a genius, isn't he? Gordon nodded and I just chuckled. Then the building's HVAC turned on. Then all the computers clicked online and Andy was furiously typing away. Then in rushed a kid who had a rifle in his hands. "Vicky, the city's powered again. How'd you do that?" She pointed over at Andy. The kid rushed up to him and gave him a hug. "Thanks, mister." Andy was surprised but hugged the kid back. "Welcome, kiddo. And what would your name be?" He was a kid, no more than 10 or 11, and had brown, wavy hair down to his ears with brown eyes. His clothes were practical camo pants and a gray jacket for camo and warmth. "I'm Aiden. Who are you, and how'd you do that?" Andy smiled and bent down to his level. "Well, I'm from California with my brother Gordon and my husband Seb. We're on a mission to restore power and win the war against Atmos. And who might you be, my friend?" Aiden's brown eyes got serious and his posture slightly became more rigid. "I'm a soldier, and Vicky is my mom. She protected me from the outage. I appreciate the help. Before today, I was really hungry. Mom, have you got any food?" She pulled out the backpack and rifled through it and handed him a bag of trail mix. He opened the bag and looked thankful. "Thank you. Truly, I mean it. There is a Nuts and Bolts nearby, but when the power went down, the store locked. We tried to get in, but to no avail. Can you help?" I looked at Gordon and Andy, who nodded. She seemed very thankful for the help, and her face finally had a smile on it. "Where is the Nuts and Bolts store?" Victoria looked at me and pointed a map on the wall, and it was in the heart of the city. "Okay, well, let's head out. The sooner we can get you food, the better your city will be." We all nodded, and even Aiden came with us. And I'll admit, it was surreal to see a child holding an assault rifle. But hey, that's the kind of world it is now. But hopefully, not forever.